Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and run through is our service plan list, and that's a detailed kind of overview of what every single plan that we offer is going to look like, what it's going to cost you, and how that's going to fit into your business. But we're also going to look at the great picture of what we're able to offer, because I believe that while leverage opportunity might not be or fit into your business model right now, it is something that you can use to recruit. And so building your profit share is always something that a lot of agents value. And so knowing what the office is offering is going to make those conversations when you do recruit a whole lot easier. Hi, Andrea. Good to have you. You didn't miss anything. We just started. So
hey, sorry, I was on the phone too. I'm trying to get my computer up and running here.
No, you're good. No, there's only 3 of you guys. So while I have this opportunity, feel free to interrupt me anytime, and we can dig into more of your business as it looks right now. If you're associated like Michelle is with Market Center Mentorship, or looking into KW My Way and what your options are with that, we're able to really hone in and answer some of those questions that you guys have, because there's only the 3 of you. So interrupt me anytime. I don't mind. It'll actually give my voice a break. So, okay. So if I haven't met you yet, my name is Kate Randall, and I am the CEO and owner of Leverage Opportunity. What we are is a transaction management company that is exclusive to KW. And so what we do is we come inside the brokerage and we really provide a lot of transaction management for the agents that are already here. And then also they use us as a recruiting piece to bring agents in, because what we're doing for you guys is really a value add to not only the brokerage, but to the agents that we work with too. And so we're bringing in compliance pieces where we're taking a lot of that off of your plate, a lot of the customer service aspects of managing a transaction, making sure that those closings get scheduled, MLS entries, but we do some marketing pieces too. So we're going to dive into that. That's who we are, and that's what we're serving to our agents and to Keller Williams Consultants Realty. Again, like I said, it is exclusive to KW. And so by saying that, that means that we understand the ins and outs of KW and what they're trying to offer here. So we understand command, and in the nicest way, probably better than you do. We're able to teach those classes, and we're able to really hone in and create and help you use that system to the best of its ability. So we are KW oriented, and we do understand those processes, but really what we're bringing in terms of exclusive value, it determines on who you are. And so I want to go into a little bit of storytelling just briefly, because I want to get to the service plans too, of what we've offered. And so I believe in the power of storytelling. And if you don't tell your own story, then somebody else is going to tell it for you. So here's what we're offering in terms of growth. We have agents that we work with, even here at this office, that and I have one person in mind, actually, when she came to me, she was stressed and overwhelmed. She was crazy busy, which was great, but she was at the point where she didn't want to be that busy anymore. She almost wanted to quit because she was so overwhelmed and she wasn't really living the lifestyle that she wanted. And so she came to us, and we took a lot off of her plate, so much so that she ended up taking that time back, used it to go to doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and really take care of her, go on vacations that she had wanted. But then she had so much time that she invested back into her business in terms of marketing that she had never done before. And so she invested all of that time into her marketing, and she just exploded in that year. And so she ended up building a team with the additional pieces and the additional time that she had. And so now we're helping her entire team with transaction management and a lot of marketing pieces too. In terms of building a team, we have several agents that we work with that are part of something much bigger. And the reason why they're able to do that is because they're using and recruiting agents in to grow their own teams. Sustaining and reliable coverage is another value add. We had an agent here at the office who had lost a family member. And when she called me, we were able to swoop in and really take all of her transactions. It was 18 at the time. And so we were able to take all of those and run with them and really serve. Hi, are you guys here? Oh, hey. Well, I'll talk to you too. What's your name? Nice to meet you, Seth. Bridget, is he one of yours?
What's that?
Is he an MCM?
Oh, hi, Seth.
Okay, gotcha. I thought so. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking this way. You guys are testing my talents here,
Which is why I have such a problem with Zoom in the training in the small training room. Oh.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, so in terms of sustaining reliable coverage, what we were able to do for her, because she had lost a loved one, we were able to take all of the transactions that she had, which was, I think, 18 at the time, maybe 17. I don't want to lie. It was 17 or 18. And we were able to take them all, and she didn't miss a beat. She was MIA for that week, and rightly so. She was mourning. And so there was no reason why she should have been working in the first place, but her clients didn't experience any kind of weirdness or notice it at all, because we were able to sustain and actually push her transactions forward, because we were able to take the management piece off of her plate. We have agents that now get to go on vacations that probably didn't before, or at least when they did, they were stressed out of their minds. And so we're able to really alleviate a lot of that pressure that agents have. And then building your profit share. So we have agents, and you may have heard this story, and I'll name her by name for this one. Her name is Teresa Kinney, and she had a contact with someone who was at Coldwell Banker, and she met with this individual and recruited him solely using Leverage Opportunity and the services that we provide, because she uses us. And so she was telling him about the transaction management team and how we input things into her calendar. And she was just sharing what she loved about the program. This can be done whether you're using the program or not. So even if you end this class and you're like, not for me, that's okay. This is still a value add to the brokerage, and anybody that you bring into KW that signs and closes a deal, you're making that profit share. So that's money in your pocket just by attending this class and understanding what we're offering. Oh, thought you were more. No, that's okay. I'm doing this and my fingers are pointing. Anyway, thank you guys though. And so what she did, she sat down and she basically recruited him into KW. Well, his first sale that was here was a $4 million home of James Wisnowski, one of the Columbus Blue Jackets guys. And so she made money off of his sale because she recruited him in that way. And he's a continually successful agent that's doing wonderful business here. And he uses Leverage Opportunity full-time also. So it really worked out for both of them. And so just knowing what Leverage Opportunity, and even beyond that, like let's talk Market Center mentorship, and let's talk KW My Way and all of the video services that are here. There's so much that's going on in consultants that is available to the agents that if you're not using that, what doesn't matter, but you can still recruit with it. And so it's good to at least know what's available to you. Okay, so quick service breakdown. Can you see this screen? Just so you, okay. Service breakdown. What we do in a nutshell is compliance. So we are, I would call us compliance and organized junkies. We're all about the T's and the I's and crossing and dotting, making sure that everything's lined up and making the MCA happy, making the broker happy, making sure that at the end of the day, things are done correctly and they're done right the first time so that you get paid on time. And that leads to our second piece of commissions. And so what we do, no matter where you're a part of, whether you're a part of MCM or you're on a team, which we have agents who are team members that are using us. And so there's really no limit. We understand your splits, your referrals. Let's say you work with Quicken and you have that 35% referral fee. We take that into account. We plug in your commissions and make sure that you get paid on time. That compliance piece is taken care of, a very, very fine tooth comb through those documents, a really great second pair of eyes that digs deep and makes sure that everything's into command, your opportunities created. We even enter contacts for people, making sure that the opportunity moves along and gets you to the closing table. And then that leads us into the listing and contract to close, which is more of a management piece of the transaction. So we're doing MLS entry for you, coordinating the actual in contract process. So we send out all of those documents, making sure that everybody's on the same page with one another. And that communication piece is huge. So that's it in a nutshell, but I'm going to go ahead and break down quickly into each individual plan. And Seth, before you got here, we talked about being a part of Market Center mentorship. You have available to you through the supported model, certain plans. That doesn't mean you're limited to those only. So if you wanted to add something on, you totally could. But then also, because you have mentors like Bridget and Liz and the community that is consultants, we imagine you're probably not going to stay Market Center mentorship very long. Like if you're successful, you're eventually going to graduate. And so these things are available to you outside of Market Center mentorship. It just doesn't end just because you graduate. So the first one is the MLS Entry Plan. This is included for Michelle and Andrea. I don't know if you're Market Center mentorship or not.
I am.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yes.
So this is included in that supported model. When you do a listing, you have available to you now all of the data entry, all of the document entry, we look at your RPD, your lead-based paint, make sure that it's filled out appropriately. We plug all of that stuff from the residential worksheet that you fill out before when you go on a listing appointment. we
Kate?
make sure, yes.
I was going to interrupt real quick. Everybody on this call is in the supported model.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, sorry.
Good to know. So yes, when you go on a listing appointment and you get all that information and you pull from the auditor site, bedroom count, all of that stuff that you put on that mandatory compliance document, the residential worksheet, we pull from that and we plug it into the MLS for you. So all of that data entry is taken care of. We plug in those documents too, and we're doing a fine audit. It's more than just copy and paste for us though. And I will say that because a lot of people are like, well, I can type it in there. We're double checking. So I'll probably give you a really nice passive aggressive call and be like, hey, I noticed that you checked, the great room and you checked a living room, like, is that what you were looking, you know what I mean? Like, is that what you wanted? Or, hey, I noticed that you put 5 bedrooms on the second level, but it's a ranch, like what is it? So like, we're also checking, making sure that all that information is correct against the auditor site, against past listings, and just in general, what makes sense and is actually compliant per the MLS guidelines, which we're very familiar with too. So it's a good second pair of eyes also. So we plug it in there for you. Then we're going to take the pictures that you've ordered and we're going to upload those. We organize them, we title them. We make sure that we remove anything that shouldn't be in there, any duplicates, and we really use our marketing people to really take care of the marketing of your home. So we go as far as possibly writing property descriptions for people. I do that for a lot of agent to agent remarks, the directions, all of that is available upon request. And so that's something that we're willing to do for you too. Takes a huge load off your plate. And then HOA document capture, which is huge right now. It's a burden, an important burden that a lot of listing agents have, is making sure that they get as the documents requested as soon as possible so that they don't end up going past that purchase contract deadline. And so that's something we'll take off your plate also. Anybody have any questions on what that MLS entry plan looks like? Again, that is included when you have a listing and you're associated with the supported model in MCM.
So I have a question. So we, because I haven't had a listing yet, so I would fill out all of the documents, everything, and then how do I submit them to you guys? An email, like the photos, all, like how do I get that to you?
Right. Are you using DocuSign or are you using .loop right now?
DocuSign.
DocuSign. Really all you would do is with DocuSign, it's a little different because you're already associated and set up in Command. Because we have access to the Market Center Mentorship Command account, we can already see those documents.
Okay.
And so as long as we're notified through what we have is an order form, and we'll give it to you, it'll be in your loops, it'll be in your DocuSign, and it'll be there. All you'll have to do is send it to us as an email, and that triggers us to go, oh gosh, she has a listing coming up and here's when the listing is set to be coming soon, or whatever that looks like. And then we'll start to plug in and make sure that it's ready for you on the MLS. We'll give you an email to confirm and ask any questions that we need if we're missing anything. But that's how we're notified. With .loop, for anybody that's on .loop, it's you add us as a team member to your loop, and it's just a check of a box. So it's pretty simple there too. And if you guys want, I can walk you through both of those, what our order forms look like and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Great question though. Anybody else have anything? Okay. The listing and in contract compliance plan. This is also included in the Market Center Mentorship supported model. And I have the prices up here on the right. That's the cost when you're out of Market Center Mentorship. That's not actually charged to you. So if you were paying for this as like a regular agent, this is what you would be paying. So included in this plan is not the MLS listing. However, yours is combined. So when you have a listing, you get the MLS data entry and you get the listing and in contract compliance plan. And in this plan, what you're getting is a collection and review of all of those compliance documents. So making sure the consumer guide is signed. Anything that isn't signed, we make sure that you know about it and so that you can check it off your box. Then we take all of those documents, we do a fine audit, looking at questions on the RPD, etc., plugging them into Command the way that they're supposed to be, making sure that everything is there, and then making sure that you get paid correctly. Once it does go into contract, we take care of those documents too, but we make sure all those splits are done well. And then we check in with you every single week. We're also checking your loops and your DocuSign and all of that kind of stuff to monitor to make sure that there weren't any changes or addendums that needed to be added into the compliance piece of Command. But if there are any I would say like purchase price changes that the MCA would want to know about, we go ahead and we take care of that communication for you. So you really don't have to worry about getting paid the accurate way at the end of the day. We take the final ALTA, we submit it for you after following up weekly, and then we close it out for you. Any questions on this one? So again, for you guys, this is combined with the MLS plan. So this was your whole listing in a nutshell. The buyer compliance plan is the flip side of that, obviously without MLS entry. But what we are doing is doing a fine audit of all of those documents, making sure that it gets into command is appropriate, so there aren't any deficiencies. And then we've got your making sure you get paid, following up weekly, and then submitting that ALTA for you. So it's really just the flip side of that. And again, once you graduate, this is still available to you. The seller management plan is something that our agents, this is probably our most popular plan, honestly. And so it is a more of a higher communication plan, and it's the actual management of the transaction as it continues through once it's in contract. So you have your listing and in contract compliance plan. That's a part of that. We're looking through all of those documents, uploading them into command for you, moving them through the opportunity, getting you paid on time. But then we're taking that knowledge and we're actually communicating for you on your behalf throughout the transaction. So for the seller management plan, we are the transaction manager throughout the deal's entirety, managing all of those deadlines, everything from did they submit pre-approval? Did they apply for their loan? Has earnest money been submitted? Is the home warranty ordered? Have they requested their appraisal? Did inspections get taken care of? Is there an addendum that's needed to be done after remedy? Like the list goes on and on. We're monitoring all of that and taking that off of your plate. So really you have the opportunity to continue to network, to continue to get more leads, to continue to market yourself and invest that time into avenues that are actually bringing growth to you. This step is important because certainly if you want referrals, if you want to grow your business in your sphere of, that kind of database, it's important to have good customer service. It's certainly important to get them to the closing table. However, this isn't something that you have to do. Somebody else can do that for you. And that's what we're willing to do. So we take lead communication on lending services and title services. So I have agents who never speak to title. And really don't handle the lender either. That's something that we take care of, making sure that every single deadline is met in the purchase contract and you don't have to worry about it. Plus all that home warranty and earnest money and all that kind of stuff. And then we coordinate closings. And for like the buyer, we make sure that walkthrough scheduled, key arrangements done, and that earnest money is returned, all of that kind of stuff. So any questions on what the seller management plan looks like? It's really a management plan of every single deadline that you experience in the transaction. Okay. The buyer management plan is the flip side of that. It's the buyer compliance piece. And we're managing everything from, again, their loan, making sure that all of those deadlines are met, earnest money is collected, and then given back to them if that's the case. And closing is scheduled, key arrangements, walkthroughs, utilities are set up. Loan, title commitments, everything is what we're taking care of really in the basic buyer management plan. And again, coordinating the closing, making sure that everybody's there. Any questions on that one? Okay, the seller management plus plan, this is when we get into something that's really customizable. So my vision for this when I set up this company is that I recognize that no agent is the same. And so if no agent is the same, then their businesses are not the same. And while we might have this similar model at KW, people are doing things differently and they run their businesses differently. And that's what I think adds so much value to this company is that there aren't these strict rules. So the seller management plus plan is a full package of everything. When you go into to a listing appointment, you get that exclusive right to sell signed. You can order a seller management plus plan and we start it from the very beginning and all the way through. So we're doing MLS entry. We're doing the compliance pieces of it. We're writing property descriptions and adding photos, uploading documents. It's really a hands-off kind of transaction. But the beauty of it is that not only do we do more and provide more, it's customizable service. So in terms of providing more, we are giving staging documents, photo prep docs, like how do you prep for photography way before they even list, open houses, how to set up for an open house, different tips and stuff. So again, it's quality information that comes straight from you. And then we're doing showing time entry on top of that. We're doing a review request. This is something massive that we've added, and we even have our own plan for this, kind of an a la carte piece. I believe in building an online presence, and that's how successful agents today stay successful. And so when I started as a transaction manager, I came onto a team and I looked, of course I Googled them. Like, I mean, I'm a millennial. Yes, I am a millennial. And I Googled them, and they had one review, and I'm not even kidding. He's obviously a realtor, and a realtor of a pretty big team. And his one review said, I can't quote it, but it said something like, I really wanted a hot sub, but my meat was cold. And I was like, what? This is insane. And so my first day, I reached out to this guy on Google, and I said, listen, first of all, if I had made your sandwich, it would have been hot. Because I give great like customer service. And then I said, but we're not a sandwich shop. So if you can take that down, that'd be great. So my day one, we started with 0. I built a review plan, and within, I don't know, 6 months, we were at 35. And so we've shifted the plan, adjusted it since then, and it's really working for agents. So that's something that we incorporate into the Plus plan. So we're doing review requests. We're doing weekly status updates. So you can have 10 transaction with us, and every single Monday you're going to get a summarized version of what's happening, what happened last week, what's happening this week, what's going to happen the week after, and what we're doing, so that there's never a time where you feel out of the loop, and you're CC'd on everything. So there's never a time where you shouldn't know. We plug everything into your calendar. So you're going to know every single deadline that's coming up, when loan approvals due, when title commitments due, when we're scheduling the closing for, inspection scheduling, all of that stuff's going to be in your calendar. And the beauty of it all is that you don't get to lose the customized pieces of your business. And a big portion of that is the relationships that you've built to get where you are right now. And so as you continue to grow your business, you start to develop relationships with lenders and with inspectors and with attorneys and with insurance agents. All of those people that play a role in your business, it becomes if you're smart about it, it becomes a scratch my back, I scratch yours. And so you send them referrals, they send you referrals, or they provide money for marketing, or whatever that relationship looks like. And so as you continue to grow, it's important that just because you use us doesn't mean you lose that ability to have relationships with your vendors. And so with the Plus plan, we have the opportunity to take your vendors and plug them into our normal emails. And so when we go ahead and send out hey, schedule your inspection, we send your top 3. When we do our friendly insurance reminder, after maybe 2 or 3 days after a buyer goes into contract, that, hey, you need to set up homeowners insurance, we send your contact. We refer attorneys, all of that, whatever you have, we plug into the business. I have worked with people that have chosen the Plus plan who are so detailed and didn't want to lose that special piece of customization with their service that they provide. And so she had even asked me to use a certain font in my email, to use a certain color in my emails. If I was going to do a link, make sure that it's this color. And when you order the Plus plan, that's the kind of customized service that you're going to get. Any questions on the whole full package there?
Kate, I wanted to add something.
Yeah.
When I first heard about the supported model and that a transaction coordinator would be available to us, I at first was, oh no, because I have had some negative experiences in transactions previous. I've only been buyer agent so far.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for listings. They did not have things organized, and it would be agent yelling at me and then the transaction coordinator dropping the ball, or just no communication. And it was so stressful. But let me tell you, just listening to you, man, it feels like you're on the opposite end of the spectrum of what I've seen a transaction coordinator do in the past. So I am so excited that you are ours and you are Keller Williams, because you are very detail oriented and you are thinking of everything and wanting to support us. So kudos to you.
Thank you. And honestly, that is the goal. And we've all worked with people that we've written down in our notebooks and said, don't be like so-and-so, like learn from them. And so I've had my fair share of co-ops or whatever that have taught me, I think, the success that comes from being where I am now. And I think a big piece of that is building something that is customizable, but it works for every agent.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter, because I do, and I'll be honest, and they would want me to. I have agents who are still very much involved in the transaction, and we've had to work together to figure out, okay, well, what's the most efficient way to go about this? Because they didn't want to let go of that control. And that's okay, because we'll work with you. We'll figure out who says what, and then they
Yeah.
get the opportunity to take the bigger pieces off their plate, but just continue to be the cherry on top. So for example, we would send, we'll send maybe the title commitment out. And so I'll have my script and I'll tell them what it is and tell them how to read it and tell them if they have any questions, because we are not licensed attorneys, they have to go to the title company and here's the contact. And it's all that just detailed stuff that nobody wants to send in an email. But then the agent pops in right after. The second she gets that email, and she goes, "Ooh, thanks, Kate. Hey, save that document, because if you sell your home in 10 years, you're going to save a bunch of money by having that one." And so it was an easy thing that she was able to plug in, and she looks like this all-star who's super included in the transaction, but she didn't actually put in any effort. She copy and pasted the same thing she says to everybody that sends a title commitment. And so we have the opportunity to let you guys be at this insane level of customer service and not have to work as hard, or the flip side of that, where you want to step back and you really just want to let it go, and we will get you to the closing table, and it'll still be great customer service. And agents, the one question that I get more than anything else, and I'm glad you brought this up, Andrea, is they're afraid that, well, what are they doing then? You know, like, what's the purpose of having an agent if you're going to do everything? What if I lose touch with my clients? What if I don't understand what's going on in the transaction because you're doing it all? And the answer to that one is, you can completely step back if you want to, but you certainly don't have to. And the way that we phrase every single thing we say, it's about Seth, like it's about Bridget. And so when I send a title commitment, I say things like, "Hey, Bridget wanted me to forward this over to you. She received it this morning. Take a quick look at it, blah, 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 blah. Hey, I talked with Bridget and she wanted me to get your closing scheduled." I didn't talk to Bridget. She wants me to, like, she wants me to forward that. That's why she hired me, but I didn't actually talk to her. But it's never about me. And in fact, the words leverage and opportunity will never be shown to anybody, co-op, title company, anyone. And that's on purpose, because we're trying to help you grow your business. And the way that we grow ours is if you grow your business. And nobody's going to come back to you because they worked with Kate Randall. They're going to come back to you because every time Bridget got something, I just happened to be the one that forwarded it. I'm the one that was initiating, and Bridget gets to sit back, eating bonbons or investing back into her business, and really growing in that way. So I'm glad that you see the value in it, Andrea. I really do.
Thank you.
And then buyer management plus plan, again, that's the flip side of things. So we're doing the management plan, we're communicating the client all the way through closing, but we're also doing review requests, those weekly status updates that agents love, because they never feel out of the loop. My biggest fear is one of our agents getting a call at like 9:30 and their client is upset, and wants to talk about something, and the agent is so far out of the loop that they don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, I don't even know where we are. And that's something that I fight every single day to make sure that never happens, because that is my biggest fear, for you guys to be so out of touch that you're like, I don't know. I mean, I passed it off and I haven't heard anything. That will never happen. You will always be included. We send texts, emails, calls, making sure, and we plug it in your calendar to make sure that you're up to speed all the time. Teresa Kinney always laughs. She apparently wakes up at 11:30 most nights and goes, the title commitment or loan application. And now she goes, loan application. And then she checks her Google Calendar and goes, okay, good. And then she goes back to sleep because everything's plugged in there for her. And again, that utility info collection is huge for buyers. They want to be able to switch that into their name. There's so many questions that I get that are associated with that. And so we collect it for them. We send it out. We tell them what to do, and we tell them when to do it. And so we're able to monitor that. And then again, those preferred vendors that you are building relationships with. In a nutshell, the details of it all, if you take anything away from this, I hope you understand what is included in the supported model. But once outside of that, when you grow to a level where you've graduated, know that there are multiple plans for everybody. There's more that aren't even listed here, a la carte items that you can add on. Let's say I have agents that just really love things entered into their calendar. And that's all I do, is just I plug it in and then I'm done. So we have something for everyone. There's also no overhead. So it's not like there's a contract where, okay, well, you have to use this for your first however many transactions. There's nothing like that. You get to pick and choose when you want to use this. So let's say you're really, really, really busy in the spring and summer, but winters aren't so busy and you have time to do the management piece. Drop us then. That's absolutely fine, and pick us up in the spring. If you're going on vacation and you know you're going on vacation, go ahead and use us a few weeks early. We'll take anything. We'll do the listings while you're gone and then manage it all the way out. If your, gosh, sicknesses and maternity leaves, whatever that looks like, we're able to step in whenever you want, and there's no contract for that at all. So there's no overhead. But I will say, if something terminates, there is a one-time termination fee. So if you have a buyer that you put into contract and it falls out on inspections, we charge a $50 termination fee. However, if you put that buyer into contract again and it terminates, there's no fee for that ever again. So it's one termination fee per client. For the compliance plans, the termination fee is much less. We are all local. My entire team is here in Central Ohio. And so we are not in another time zone. And I think a lot of people that use that kind of virtual assistant, and that word has such a kind of connotation now, but that virtual assistant, they're, in a different time zone. They're from the Philippines. They don't understand what's happening in the local market right now and how to help compete with that, how to help write addendums for you and talk you through that. That's something that we know, because I see, gosh, I think we're over 200 transactions just this year. And we're seeing a whole lot more, seeing different agents and what different agents are writing and how they're winning deals and all of that stuff. We are a resource that is at your disposal that you can call anytime, text, email, whatever works best communication wise for you. We're doing that. So in a nutshell, we're just real people who are local and able to meet you on your level in your real time. And then lastly, we're just KW ready. So we're very affiliated with or familiar with Command and .loop and DocuSign and all of the other resources that KW is pushing out. Anybody have any questions?
Hey, Kate, since everybody on here is supported, what specific services are included in that supported model from you for buyers and then for sellers?
So we'll start on the listing side of things.
Okay, perfect.
For the supported model, it's the MLS Entry Plan combined with the listing and in contract plan. So you're going to get all that MLS entry stuff. You're going to be added into the listing and in contract command. So we're going through all of your documents, uploading them. We then, on top of that, and I'm glad you said this because I totally forgot to mention it, we do the timeline for you guys. Once it goes into contract, we'll do that for you as well. And we send out a deficiency sheet of anything that you're missing, anything that needs signed, anything to look out for, reminders, earnest money, all that kind of stuff. So we're not managing, we're not talking to your clients. They'll never know that we exist, but we're doing all the back end pieces to make sure that you do end up getting paid at the end of the day because you're compliant with the office. So that's the listing piece of it. The for supported model, the buyer compliance plan is the compliance piece when you go into contract, making sure that everything's there, filling out your commissions, making sure you get paid on time, uploading all of those documents, but then also plugging the timeline into your calendar also. So those agents get that too, which is a nice additive. And then making sure you get paid on time and following up weekly to make sure that nothing has changed so that when the MCA does get your file, she's not like, well, I can't pay you because you don't have this. We follow up weekly to make sure that everything is set and that you do get paid on time. Does that answer your question, Bridget?
Yeah. Because I think I wanted to make sure they were able to see it exactly from you, the specifics of it.
Yes. Yep. So those are your options that are already included in what you're doing. Again, you can always tack on. And that's what
I was going to ask if they wanted. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask if they wanted.
We would absolutely deduct that from your price. So your seller management plan would be significantly less because a big piece of that is that listing and in contract plan. So it would be less money for sure.
When it comes to the end, or, when closing them out.
Yeah.
Do you communicate with the title company then to get that emailed final settlement statement, or how do you normally do that?
When it comes to these, we're not familiar with even who title would be at that point.
Okay.
However, if that is necessary, we would, because we want to make sure that you get paid. So we would reach
But I
out to
guess,
title.
wouldn't you know who title was if you?
We would, I mean, like
Okay.
we would know, but it's a matter of whether or not we've recorded it. And then we haven't had
yeah.
any communication with them for a month.
Right,
So
you wouldn't have to, right?
hopefully
yeah.
they would send it. You know what I mean? If we did ask, hopefully
Well,
they would send it, but it's possible.
and
they
that's
wouldn't
what I
for
always
you.
teach the agents, have them email you a copy of the final
Yeah.
settlement statement. Paper doesn't matter. That doesn't help.
Yep. Not anymore, unfortunately.
I know.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, we just want to make sure you guys get paid at the end of the day,
Sure.
because the fact of the matter is, if you don't get paid, then we don't.
Yeah.
We get paid from not from the settlement statement, from the MCA directly. And so unless it gets to her and unless everything is set and perfect and tidy, then we wouldn't get paid either.
Yeah.
Any questions on what that looks like then? And again, it would be deducted from this plan if you decided to add on to that. But then, like if you were on a management plan, you wouldn't have to worry about making sure the Alta was received. Like we would get it, making sure that your commission check was where it was supposed to be and that it was correct. We review Altas, all that kind of stuff. Any other questions? Okay, well, I'm happy to talk to any of you guys individually if you had more questions about as you continue to grow your business and what that looks like. Because we work with a lot of solo agents and we work with team members and we work with team leaders. We're able to really help you. I am a big fan of MCM. Obviously, we're working hand in hand with them too. And so we want to help you guys succeed, whether you're using leverage opportunity or not. We want to make sure that you guys succeed in this business and in this company, and that you understand the services that are provided so that you can bring people in and make some of that profit share too, because that's important. So anytime if you have any questions at all, I'm going to go ahead and put my contact information in the chat actually, and then you can copy and paste. Again, my name is Kate Randall and I'm here locally, so you'll see me quite often. Randall.
Oh, and Kate, I don't know if Emily White's in the office. I told her to try and find you. She's a new agent.
Yeah.
On the supported model as well. She's like, are you here? I'm like, no, I wasn't sure if you were going to be in today or not. So I was like, yeah, I'll just stay home. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know, I mean, like I said, we're all pretty much going back to Zoom anyway. But
Yeah, that's the truth.
anyway,
I accidentally sent it to you, Bridget. Sorry, 501. And then Seth, I'll give you a business card. Okay, well, if there's nothing else I can do for you guys, feel free to reach out. I'll touch base too. But when you do go into contract or you have a listing, just reach out. And I know that you might not have remembered everything we talked about, but we'll walk you through it. We have the systems ready to go. And so as much as MCM is helping you to grow and walking you through the steps, we're doing that too, because I want to make sure that you guys know how to do this also. Now you know it, but you don't have to do it. And that's the beauty of, I think, what leverage opportunity and really KW is offering you. So reach out anytime. We're happy to help. And I'm excited for you guys. And I hope really good listings, especially Andrew. I know you said listings are in your future. So yeah, good luck guys out there and enjoy.
thank you so much, Kate. You are the bomb.
Absolutely. It was good seeing you
Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Some questions.